Last week, lawyer, politician and member representing Agege Constituency 1 in Lagos State House of Assembly, Mudashiru Obasa, made something of a triumphant entry after forcing his way back and declaring himself Speaker of the legislative body, having been impeached from the position a few weeks earlier. Obasa's return set off a chain of events that culminated in the resignation live on national TV of the woman that replaced him as Speaker, Mojisola Miranda. A lot of permutations have been put forward as the possible reason behind the recent commotion allegedly orchestrated by certain unseen hands in Lagos politics. Well, joining us now to explore the impact of Obasa's return on local Lagos politics and the clamor by indigenes of Lagos to have more say in governance is Lateef Onikoyi, a member of the Renaissance Patriots. Thank you so much for joining us on Newsday.
Welcome. Thank you.
So what are your thoughts, on the whole drama that played out at the Lagos State House of Assembly, the impeachment, and of course the return of Mudashiru Obasa and the resignation of Mojisola Miranda live on national TV?
Yeah, thank you very much. What actually happened is what we, the Renaissance group, term as the celebration of or the burial ceremony of democracy in Lagos State. We know since 1999, there had not been what we call democracy in Lagos. Lagos State had been under siege by a certain group of people who face that they own the state. They decide who and who should have what and what in Lagos. This, what happened last week, is it just exposed what had been going on in Lagos. It exposed the party ruling Lagos that they are not democratic at all. Because if they are democratic, how can 35 members say we don't want this person to lead us? And somebody will say because he was not consulted, it should be returned. What I would say in this way is for those Democrats, those our brothers and sisters in the House of Assembly who removed Obasa, they shouldn't give up. We will encourage them. History will tell in the future who and who plays what and what role in democracy in Lagos. The representative who carried out democratic process, and they were intimidated, they were threatened to change what was supposed to be a legislative process that was done correctly, and somebody just decide. Though the party would deny that there is nobody who gave the instruction, this and that.
Of course.
But we know.
They're going to talk about it like the invisible hands that were orchestrating this coup. But just for the sake of time, let me jump in here. So we heard that Mudashiru Obasa was to return as Speaker of the House and then subsequently resign. That's what the whispers were saying after Miranda stepped down and she would go back to being deputy. So we were waiting for him to resign. Obviously, he's not going to resign anymore. When those rumors of resignation were going about, they had thrown around some names of another person who was supposed to be Speaker of the House, supposedly from Lagos West, Setonji David, or some other candidates. But now we know that there's going to be no resignation. Obasa is staying in his position. What will become of Mojisola Miranda?
Thank you. We in the Renaissance, we knew from day one that they just used that that proposal of
ploy.
Just to deceive those young men and women in their house. We knew that somebody has said, return him, I will decide what to do later. So I didn't expect, for one, I didn't expect him to resign when he gets there because I knew he was not going to resign. That shows the impunity. That shows the undemocratic nature of politics in Lagos. When people will sit down and deceive themselves, thinking they are deceiving the public, we know what is going on. But we sympathize with Miranda. We sympathize with her, and we also support her because as an indigene. That is our purpose, the purpose of the Renaissance. We are for the indigenes. We are for the interests of the indigenes. And we are still watching. This may not be the end of the whole issue. We are still watching. We will come out at the right time and do the right thing to make sure an indigene is not disgraced. Because I know Obasa is not an indigene. And you see, to come back to the politics in Lagos, maybe you will allow me to put this in. The Lagos indigenes have been marginalized, and the Constitution, you see, I put all this blame on the judiciary because we have made several attempts to go through the judiciary to get the Constitution done. We have in the Constitution who an indigene is and who should be. The federal charter spelled out everything, who an indigene is. And if you allow me to read a part of the law that established the federal charter. Part 1, which is the guiding principle and formula for the distribution of posts. Each state of the Federation and the Federal Capital Territory shall be equitably represented in all national institutions and in public enterprise and organizations. The best and most competent person shall be recruited from each state of the Federation to fill the possible the position reserved for the indigenes, note that, indigene of the state or the Federal Capital Territory. Then the part 2, define who an indigene is. An indigene of the state is somebody, permit me to read, definition, etc. An indigene of a local government means a person, either of whose parents or any of whose grandparents was or is of the local government concerned. You see, when you say parents or grandparents must be an indigene of that state, that means the grandparent too must be an indigene of that state. We are talking, so who among all this falls into this class? All those who have been occupying posts in Lagos. With due respect to our brothers in Southwest, they are the ones that are creating problems. When it comes to Lagos, they will claim Lagos belongs to Yoruba, as if Lagosians are not Yoruba. Lagos belongs to Yoruba. as if Lagosians are not Yorubas.
Can I just ask you for a second? Okay,
Yes.
so you're disputing his depth of being an indigene.
No, yes.
But he's still been the Speaker of the House longest of any in this country. So how has that been not addressed this whole time?
No, yeah, because the owner of the party wants him there. Somebody owns the party. The owner of the party wants him there. Somebody owns the party, and he's representing the party. Yeah.
So now, how do you think his return will affect the balance of power within the state's political establishment? And what impact do you think his reinstatement will have on public trust in the Lagos State House of Assembly?
Public trust, let us leave that, because I'm sure there is no trust. Nothing like trust. There is no trust as far as this politics in Lagos. When I say politics in Lagos, you know, a certain political party has been in governance since 1999. You understand? So those are those who are playing the politics in Lagos. And the trust, the balance, what are you balancing when somebody dictates who he wants? So we are talking, when we want to talk about balance, we are talking about a real situation. We don't have real situation in Lagos. We have a situation where somebody's determined. Let me even give you an observation. What those guys did was able to take place because of the project of the president. The president did not pencil down who and who were supposed to be member of House of Representatives. Most of those guys goes to the House of Representatives, unlike what used to happen before, when somebody will just come up with a list, these are those going, and those people will be loyal to the other person. But most of those guys there got there on their own through individual leaders in their local governments. So, because there was no pencil down of him, so those guys felt they could exercise their rights as legislators. They didn't know that somebody will come and knock them on their head. They felt that, after all, we work to get in there. But unlike before, the people who have manned or who have been there in the past were sent there by a particular person, and they have to be loyal to the person. So that is why I'm also encouraging these guys. They should not be intimidated. They should not be threatened.
Well, speaking of intimidation and threats, there's still a case hanging over the head. Whether or not it's going to be prosecuted is the question. There's the 15.6 billion naira financial misappropriation that's been leveled against Obasa, which is what they were saying was the reason he should leave office. There was also allegations of high-handedness, unprofessionalism, etc. I'm wondering if you think all of these allegations will disappear. These invisible hands that had plotted the coup, do you think that they're going to use this to try and bring him back down again? What do you think is going to come of this case? Or do you think that Obasa himself is going to come back more humble and contrite and, you know, everything will blow over as it tends to?
Yeah, don't forget that even Obasa, during this display of shame, used the institution. In a situation where the federal institutions go out of their legitimate function to dabble into political functions to favor a certain person. So, what do you expect? The person who asked him to go, well, that he must be returned. will know who is there, who is going to prosecute him, or who is going to investigate him. Who? When the person who says he should be returned is the commander-in-chief. Let's leave that. Let's leave that.
You've answered the question, thanks.
Well, when we started this interview, you said that the whole saga is a burial of democracy. But the lawmakers, including Miranda herself, believes that she's protecting democracy by allowing Obasa to return. How do we reconcile these two positions? Very briefly, because we have to wrap up now.
My sister, Miranda wouldn't have said all those she said out of her own free will. It was a written script she would have read. That is politics. She read a written script. It says that couldn't have been her own idea. So the whole thing we're talking about is just a script. Written and being
a political pantomime of epic proportions with a coup within. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. Obviously, we're out of time. Engineer Lateef Onikoyi, member of the Resistance Patriots, thank you so much for joining us.
The Renaissance Patriots Foundation.
Yes.
Yeah,
All right.